Hey, it's Francis Lamb, host of The Splendid Table. Every week on our show, we talk about food and cooking and the meanings of food and cooking. We talk with the most interesting people in food about their techniques, their culture, and everything in between. Whether it's about how fried chicken took over the world or how Instagram changes the way people are actually eating. It's a food show where everyone is welcome. Come join us. You can listen to The Splendid Table wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to Heritage Radio Network.
Berryville is a hamlet in rural America, part of the upper Delaware River Valley in the western Catskills, but it could be anywhere. Berryville is the climax of civilization. Yeah, the Trump flags are flying, even as gay bikers are rolling through town. This is a hot take on rural America. And whether you're new to rural living, if you've ever been bullied or beaten up in the country, or live in the city and just dream of getting away, this show is for you.
Everything's better in Berryville.
Everybody's talking at me. I don't know what they're saying.
Wow, can you dig it, Johnny? Take a look around you. Here we are at Yasgur's Farm, a.k.a. the Bethel Woods Center for the Arts, celebrating the Catskill Cuisines event. I hope you're hungry.
I can feel the vibe. I'm starving. I've been on a cleanse for the past 2 weeks.
And how's that working for you?
It's good. I've located my friend's plant-based ice cream down the way and some smoothie bowls and some other non-dairy treats for me in my life.
So dreams can come true.
Sure.
Well, I'm so happy to be here today. There is food as far as the eye can see, and I'm sure we're going to see people in funny chef's hats, which I always love.
Ooh la la. Check out our neighbor over there. I can't wait to talk to her.
I can't wait to talk to her.
She's on fire.
And she's set up at the Barcelona airport. She says, "Come have a drink, have a tapa," and then fly away.
From Barcelona to Forestburg, I think.
But we've got superstars.
Oh my God, we have a crazy roster today. We have Anne Burrell, we have Melba Wilson, we have Maricel Salazar, and many more. I'm so excited.
Many more. And of course, we both have very close ties here at Bethel Woods, so it's almost like homecoming for us. You had done your play program at the 50th anniversary of Woodstock.
Yeah, we did a program in 2019. My husband Roswell Hamrick and I directed the Road to Woodstock as part of the play program for the 50th anniversary, and then we came back. I came back in 2021 and did a sort of like hybrid movie musical with Melissa Gilbert and Tim Busfield, also for the play program, and it was like all the wonderful stars that brought us to the Road to Woodstock and beyond. So that was really exciting, and I love this place. I can't believe it's in our backyard, and I can't believe there's now food, music, and love, baby. This is the place to be.
And of course, I spend my days teaching kids how to play Bo Diddley. I'm making the world a better place, Johnny. I'm doing it.
But don't you also teach adults too, right?
I do, and you know what I'm doing?
What?
I'm teaching them to play Bo Diddley, and I'm waiting for my award from the Bo Diddley Appreciation Society. Dude, Bo Diddley is my spirit animal, and if everybody can play that Bo Diddley beat, the world would be a better place. All right, I'm going to look for the Road to Woodstock.
You think that's all it'll take?
Well, that and a little love, peace and love, Woodstock style.
I want to give a special shout out to the Sullivan Catskills Visitors Association and Herb Clark and Roberta Lockwood, who I think we just saw zipping by in a golf cart. Thank you for this prime spot and for having us here and giving us access to all these incredible chefs. We have our official press passes. And
I'm putting mine in my hat, Johnny. Going Clark Kent style today.
Yeah, you're a real newscaster, aren't you? Yeah, but I hopefully this will get us backstage with Anne Burrell.
I can't wait. And thanks to Sullivan County Visitors Association for being an amazing sponsor to Heritage Radio. And I'll tell you what, are you ready for your first guest? And of course, just as we're getting started, that's the electric cords revving it up in the background. So it's getting a bit noisy, but we've got it all today. Chefs, mugs, and rock and roll, or something like that. All right. Let's hear it for Melba Wilson. She is the reigning queen of soul. She's a Harlem-based restaurateur. She's author, a Food Network personality. She's amazing. She's the author of Melba's Comfort, 100 recipes from her heart to your kitchen. And I'm telling you, Johnny, if you haven't tried her fried chicken, then I just weep for the tragedy that your life is. Okay, Chef Melba, so glad to see you here.
I'm so happy to be here. As a matter of fact, I just have a piece of fried chicken for you right here in my purse. Well, not really,
my
but it
God.
sounds good.
That's
Fantastic.
the kind of friends we want.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we just go with it? Why don't you tell us right away what is the secret to great fried chicken?
The secret to great fried chicken is, first of all, starting out with a great brand of chicken. You know, I like to use an organic, natural-fed chicken. I don't use a farm-raised chicken. You know, the chicken is stressed out when it's farm-raised. So I like to use an organic, really, really natural grade of chicken. So it starts out with that. And then it's all about that seasoning, baby. To buttermilk, to not to buttermilk. You know, what are we seasoning it with? Are we going back and are we deep frying it? Are we pan frying it? What are we doing?
Let's talk about pan frying.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's do it.
I love some pan fried chicken. So it starts with the marinade, the rub. I also brine my chicken. You know, I want to break down the proteins, the enzyme, and I want to make sure that everything permeates through the meat. Because it's all about what? The meat. That's right.
I agree 100%. I mean, I don't buy supermarket chicken. You know, it's come from a cool environment. Anything that's at Smithfield or Purdue, sorry, ain't happening in my house, especially when we live right next to so many farms who are producing great, they're not all organic, honestly, but they're locally produced, well-sourced, responsibly raised, on-pasture chickens.
And that's what it's about. I'm a big fan of Mary's chicken, also a Freebird chicken, you know, even though they're not paying me to endorse them, but
Locally, we have a really wonderful chicken source. If you ever see a Campanella's chicken, grab it. They're natural, they're organic, they're lovely. So on the way over to our little booth over here, we were talking about shrimp and grits as well.
Ooh.
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit? What is your secret to grits?
My secret to grits is I like doing a chicken stock.
Ooh,
Okay? I like substituting chicken stock instead of water. Okay? Letting that grain cook all the way down, and then bam, I throw a little bit of heavy cream to make it creamy and yummy. And then butter. No, I didn't say butter. I said butter.
Butter.
Everything's better with butter.
That's right. Everything's better with butter and Berryville. Here we go.
I see even the electric cords have stopped playing to recognize the importance of butter.
What did you just say?
Butter. But you also have to attend to the grits. Grits are not something that you can put on the stove and walk away from. You have to pay attention. You have to cook them slow with a lot of care and keep stirring it. What you really want to do is make sure that the bottom of the pot, that you're stirring it from the bottom up. Because what will happen is you will get a coat of grits at the bottom, but then the heat is not being evenly distributed. So it's about taking care, taking time, and just loving on that grit.
Wow. And what restaurants do you go to when you just want a break from it all? When you're done cooking, when you're too hot in the kitchen, where do you like to go?
Oh, see, now you're trying to get me in trouble.
No, I'm not.
That's like, you know, as someone who's just stepped down as first female and first person of color to be the president of the New York City Hospitality Alliance.
Wait, hold on. Let's give it up for that. That is an amazing feat. Congratulations. That is a beautiful thing to say. I'm wrapped. I'm done. It sounds like a lot of work, too.
A lot of work. But there are over 26,000 restaurants just in New York City alone. So to say what's my favorite, it's like asking me, what's my favorite child?
Oh, man.
But
Well, you have one. You know you do.
Yeah, I do. I'm loving on Tucci right now. Max Tucci just opened up. Love it. Tatiana, by my very, very dear friend, Chef Kwame Owanachi, is another all-time favorite. You know, and then I like my standards. I like going out to Staten Island. I like going out to Taverners for some great Greek food. You know, I'm an equal opportunity eater.
I love that. Have you ever been to Inoteca Maria out in Staten Island?
I have not.
They have this wonderful program on Sundays called Nonas of the World, and a different grandma cooks every Sunday. I was there for Egyptian grandma and Italian grandma, and let me tell you, it was a feat of the senses. It was
love
lovely.
that.
Yeah.
I know where I'm going next weekend.
Yeah, it's right next to the Capitol Theater. Check it out. It's
Great,
good. It's good.
We got to get some grandmas on this show,
Oh,
John.
yes.
That's right. Well, listen, we are very, very, very excited that Melba gave us a little bit of her time. So thank you for joining us. And where can we find your cookbook?
You can find my cookbook at Amazon.com, Books A Million, and also at your local store.
And once again, please go shop at your independent local bookseller.
I love that lady.
She's amazing.
I'm going to take her up on her offer. I'm going to go up there and eat at her place. I'm so pumped.
I'm with you. I cannot wait.
So much passion the way she talks about shrimp and grits and fried chicken. Yum.
Oh my
yum,
God, I feel
yum.
warm all over. It's totally it's everything.
Oh my God. Who's up next?
All right, I'm so happy to introduce our guest, Marisol Salazar. She's the author of the fabulous new book, Latin-ish for you gringos, celebrating American Latino cuisines. John, you're kind of ish. You're Irish-ish. You're Italian-ish. You're Jewish-ish.
Beat it, nerd. we're ish, and guess what? I love and serve all things Latin food. So here we go.
Okay, ishisms. Anyway, Marisol is the author of Latin-ish, celebrating American Latino cuisines. She is also the creator of the column Eating Off Duty, what celebrated chefs eat outside their kitchens. Bienvenido. Welcome, Marisol. Glad to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. Y'all really pumped me up. I need to get introduced every day the way that you introduced me. I sound very
We'll
impressive.
be at your place at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's Marisol getting up out of bed.
You guys, you're my morning mantra.
Wait, check this out. You ready?
Bam. Marisol, how did you find your way up to the Catskills for Catskill Cuisine?
You know what? I was really fortunate to work with Sullivan County. I originally, before I became a chef, I started off as a food writer. So that's how I was writing for Michelin Guide. I was writing for Bon Appetit, and I would be interviewing chefs before I got into the kitchen. And so one really short story is, I started developing my own recipes. I'm a self-taught chef. I've worked as a chef's assistant, and then I started creating recipes for magazines. And I started being on camera, and my presence started getting known, especially for Latin-ish cuisine, what is Latin-ish? It's American Hispanic food. So when
Some of the best food in the planet.
The best food, you're thinking Tex-Mex, Cuban American. So that's how I started working with Sullivan County. I was here on assignment as a food writer. And then my cookbook, which is coming out this August 20th, they heard that I was producing a cookbook, and they said, you know what, let's bring a little bit more Latin-ish to the Catskills and also show how the local ingredients of the food of the Catskills can be incorporated into Hispanic cuisine. That's great. That's what I'm doing today.
And I love that because, I don't like the term Tex-Mex. I have no affiliations with Texas. I do not want to talk about Texas when I'm talking about Latin food. I want to talk about Latinish. I think that's a much kind of cooler term.
Yes. I mean, every different part of the United States has its own brand of what I call American Latino cuisine. In California, they have California Mexican, Alta California. Down in Florida in the South, they have something called Floridian, which has a lot of Jamaican and Cuban influences. Even here in New York City, we have Puebla York, Cuban American, Dominican American, Puerto Rican American. So Tex-Mex is just one. It's got a really good branding, Tex-Mex, but there's a whole lot more. Sure.
Yeah, I love it. As a former, South Brooklynite, I really appreciate Latinish.
I live in Brooklyn too.
Hey.
So Marisol, what are some of the local ingredients that you're using from Sullivan County? I was thinking today, what are about regional specialties? And we're walking around talking to chefs, and I think what are the regional specialties of the Catskills? And certainly maple syrup is one. I don't know if you're using much maple syrup. Apples we're famous for up here, and of course we are in farmland. So there's plenty of livestock and meat and poultry and pork up here as well. Yes. And of course, chicken wings seem to be the local specialty.
Chicken wings is a local regional specialty. All right.
Oh my God,
I have not tried a local chicken wing, but I absolutely will have to.
I guess get on the buffalo wings.
Touche, man. Touche. That was a great dad joke. Positive reinforcement will get you very far.
Thank you.
So what I'm making today that folks can try using, that's a Hispanic food. It's a Mexican food specifically, using a local Catskill twist. I'm making a pico de gallo using ramp. So it's a ramp pico de gallo. I don't know if folks know what pico de gallo is. It's a type of Mexican salsa. It's raw. It uses tomatoes, onions, cilantro, a little bit of lime. In mine, I use toasted cumin and some other spices that I can't give away right now.
The ramps are enough. You're singing to my heart already.
Yes.
I love all things ramps. I love ramp
Local
pesto.
Catskills ramps.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We have a very short window, so everyone needs to panic.
Yeah,
get the ramps. Get your ramps. It's a panic right now.
Thank you for inciting a riot.
Marisol, before we came on the air, we were talking about lobsters, and you
my God.
you saw this plastic lobster that's sitting here.
Near and dear to our
My
hearts.
little bit of Dada contribution to our table dressing. But you said you had a little post-traumatic stress disorder seeing the lobster because you're new to the lobster world. Perhaps you'd share that story.
Absolutely. I was triggered when I saw this lobster because just recently, and I find this very interesting as a chef, there's chefs who are very connected to their food in the sense they'll go forage for their food. Some of them will even butcher their own meat. And then there are chefs that are very disconnected from their food. They get the ingredients already prepared. And I was doing a project with Lobsters of Maine, an incredible organization.
Yep.
Beautiful, beautiful state. The lobsters are sweet. They're delicious. And I'm creating a couple of Hispanic recipes for them using lobster, but this was the first time I had ever had to kill a lobster myself. Most of the time it comes just to me. So not only did I have to kill one lobster, I had to kill 6 in order to prepare what I was making is a lobster ceviche and a Mexican-style dish called langosta al Puerto Nuevo. Oh my goodness. It was like Edgar Allan Poe's Telltale Heart. I could just hear the
screams.
I could hear the lobster scratching and clawing. But you know what? After I got over making the lobsters and boiling them alive, I honestly really respected myself more as a chef, and I felt that much closer to where my food comes from and appreciative of animals.
Well, I understand there are a couple different ways to do it. One is you can hypnotize the lobster.
What?
I've seen it done. My friend Christina Martinez has a way she hypnotizes the lobster. She kind of, basically, the lobster just goes, it's like a magic show. And then the lobster's yours. You can also put them in the freezer live, because I do buy live lobsters, and I look for the frisky ones. I look for the ones who are trying to get out.
You have no chance.
Yeah. Wait, but those, I figure those are the freshest ones. It's not like adopting a kitten. Look,
The friskier, the fresher.
I'm gonna eat this guy. It's strange because I'm not one of these foodie guys or New Yorkers who think that meat comes, saran wrap. That's the way it begins. But I also am not a hunter. I don't think I can go out and kill a steer. That's not really my thing, or a deer. But the lobster, honestly, no problem. And I learned to cook a lobster for the first time in Mexico. I've always boiled lobsters, Maine style, Indian style. But to butterfly it, I was on vacation in Zihuatanejo in Mexico, and they were butterflying them and putting them over charcoal grills. And I told the guy, "You've got to teach me how to do that." And I went back to this little shack on the beach every night for a week to learn how to properly do it.
Oh, that is a beautiful story and very idyllic. Mine was a little bit more messy and just crying in between. I spoke to every lobster for 2 to 3 minutes before I boiled it because I wanted to give it its due and thank it for feeding me and providing me with, the sweet meat that I was about to turn it into. And it was actually, I honestly feel like it's made me a better chef. And not that, just because you don't kill your own food or forage your own food doesn't make you not a good chef, but it definitely made me feel closer.
You got to get with the hypnosis thing, I'm telling you.
Yeah, what is this? And can she also do it to me to, resolve some, past trauma?
Marisol, can you tell us a little bit about, so I heard you say to our legislator, Louis Alvarez, that you were a military brat. How did that inform your cooking, and how did that inform all the different cuisines that you've come to prepare now?
I'm actually so glad you asked that because that is a huge part of the backbone of my cookbook, Latinish. There's something I always like to say, and living in New York City for the past decade, I always say, if New York City is a melting pot for cultures all over the world, then a military base is a melting pot for every different kind of American in the United States.
100%.
And it really is. So I'm originally from Panama. That's where I was born. That's where both my parents are from. And when I was young, my mother remarried an American that she met in the Canal Zone there, military. So we started traveling all around the world. I lived in Hawaii. I lived in Japan. I lived in different bases across the United States. And then I moved to Madrid when I was older. And it's really crazy because I grew up thinking burritos are American. And I promise you, if you buy my cookbook, you will believe the same thing too, because when I was living on bases, I tried burritos from every different part of the United States. Arizona, San Diego, California. I tried burritos from the South, and they were all American burritos. So that's really informed my cooking, is all these different styles of American Hispanic food. And that's kind of what led me to my niche now, which is American Latino cuisines.
Well, a burrito kind of is a California contraption, isn't it? I've traveled all over Mexico, and no one's ever given me this gigantic, Nerf football
rice
thing
and
filled
beans
with rice.
stuffed to business.
Correct.
There are tortillas filled with all sorts of stuff, but the rice, al lado. It's never right there
Inside.
on top of it. Listen, Marisol, before we cut out, you're about to you just came off of a chef demonstration. Are you about to go?
I'm going to do a chef demonstration at 4 p.m.
Great.
y'all.
Tell us what you're cooking today.
It's a ramp pico de gallo. I'm probably using the last ramps left in the Catskill, so if you want it, you need to come to this demo to get it.
Wow, we will get why the getting's good.
Muchísimas gracias for visiting us.
Ay, muy bien.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. And wow, we can't wait to do it again. Everybody, please check out Marisol's new book, Latin-ish. We're all a little bit ish, right, Johnny?
Yeah, sure.
Everybody's ish.
Hey, remind us one more time. When does the cookbook come out, and where can people find it?
August 20th, it's in all major retailers, Amazon, Target, Walmart, Barnes & Noble, independent bookstores across America, and it would definitely be in independent bookstores up here in the Catskills.
Congratulations.
Amazing. And that's a reminder, folks, support your local independent bookseller. All right, one more time.
Thank you, Marisol.
Thank you so much.
You're listening to the Everything's Better in Berryville Catskill Cuisine Special Edition, recorded live at the Bethel Woods Center for the Arts. Now back to Mike and Johnny.
Hey, John, let's check out the local food tent. And I see one of your favorites right down
God,
there.
I love Pasta d'Oro. We are here with Chef Edison Norikai from Pasta d'Oro. They're taking over Sullivan and Orange County. So let's hear from the chef.
All right, I think he's going to put on a little show for us.
Hey, Chef, what are you making for us today?
So today I'm going to be making pasta carbonara rustica. So we take the pancetta, the guanciale, we roast the garlic slowly, a lot of black pepper, and then we finish it in the pecorino romano. And this morning we made orecchiette, small ear pasta, really excellent. And I hope you enjoy. And then what we do here is we flambe the cheese itself, we make a beautiful fondue, and then we toss the actual pasta in there, and it just gives it this rich, decadent umami flavor, if you may. It's something we're very proud of. It took us about 3 months to actually perfect the recipe to something we were very satisfied with. So without further ado, let me make one for you guys, and you let me know what you think.
It has been flambéed to my liking, made fresh by another guy named Edison, so it's got to be good. With a name like Edison, it's got to be good. You know, John, I'm a big fan of anything flambé. Basically, I'm a pyromaniac. You know, give me anything. Bananas Foster, a big cherry jubilee, a Kiss concert. I love fire. Wow, it's very creamy, very kind of basically the pornography of food. It's very erotic, very luscious. The pepper comes through nicely through all that cream. Ooh la 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 la. You're on, Johnny.
We are here at one of the most exciting tents in the local food section. This is Do Good Spirits, and we are here with my representative at Do Good, Amanda. Amanda, tell us what you guys are up to today.
So we are slinging some samples of our vodka, our gin. We brought our barrel reserve gin, our bourbon, and everybody's favorite, our Beaver Kill Bourbon Cream.
No kidding. That is my favorite.
It's you can't drink all day if you don't put bourbon in your breakfast.
That's right. And you know what else? These make the most genius espresso martinis. We mix it with Goofy's coffee liqueur. Have you ever had that before?
Yes.
But it's so delicious with your bourbon cream. It's a real dream.
Thank you very much. I also, for anybody listening, throw it in your French toast egg wash in the morning, and then you have like a nice boozy maple bourbon French toast. Again, you have to drink in the morning to drink all day. So
these are the things that dreams are made of.
Well, you know what my wife says?
I agree.
She says if you see someone drinking an espresso martini, that person is up for anything.
They're up for a long time as well.
But no kidding, the bourbon cream is the breakfast of champions.
And can you tell us a little bit about your reserve gin? What is this dark color we're not used to out of seeing for gin?
So we take our normal gin, which is lovely and beautiful, and we put it into our bourbon barrel, and we let it age for about 2 years. So it takes on some of the color. That's why it's got that yellow hue, but it also takes on that vanilla, that caramel, that butterscotch, everything that you love about bourbon. It's like if gin and bourbon had a love child after drinking each other all night.
Oh,
well,
my
that's
God.
a dream as well. So thank you, Amanda, for giving us the 411 on Do Good Spirits. And you guys have some hot projects coming up. I heard with the Messiah, Miss Rachel Ray. Is that a true story?
Yes, so we actually just released that. It's called Staple Gin. Rachel and our founder and head distiller, Brian Fauquet, are very good friends. And I'm sure after a night of delicious food and some cocktails themselves, decided to make some gins. She wanted to partner with an actual New York State distiller to make a gin. So this is not just another celebrity gin. This is something she was very active in the part of making the recipes. I think they had over 100 recipes until they kind of settled on one with Castelvetrano olives. If you've ever had those, they're from Sicily. They're incredible. So, look for Staple Gin. It is out now.
That's great. That's great. Well, thank you, Amanda, and thank you to Do Good. We're going to grab some samples.
Hey, John, you know what? It's been such a great day, and aside from all the fantastic things we've been eating, there are people here who are doing a great job for our community in food banks and food pantries and, helping underserved neighborhoods. It's so very important here in Sullivan County. And, of course, you work our local food pantry at the church in Hewlin at St. Anthony's. I know you're doing a great job over there. So why don't you tell us about that for a second and introduce our next guest?
Sure. So actually, with the help of the Regional Food Bank of the Northeastern New York chapter, we do two different pickups a month at the St. Anthony's Food Pantry. The first Thursday of the month, we do pre-packed boxes that we get food from the county, and then we also supplement it with food that we purchase via donations through St. Anthony's. And then the third Thursday, which is really wonderful, we work with our next guest's colleague, Amy. She comes and sets up sort of like a mock market, and guests who attend the pantry are able to make their own selections and choose healthy options for their family, ones that they like and love. And, I think the program is really beautiful, and I want to introduce our next guest. This is John Buntage. He's the Senior Development Officer at the Regional Food Bank of Northeastern New York. Welcome, John.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. This is an amazing event. Great, happy to be here.
Yeah, and so I think it's so incredible and good on the Sullivan Catskills Visitors Association that they were able to align this fabulous event with a charitable cause. And I think you guys are you're feeding America. You're doing some of God's work. So thank you for that. Tell us a little bit about the food bank, will you?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So we are part of the Regional Food Bank of Northeast New York, which takes us 23 counties from the Canadian border all the way down to Westchester County. And then we have two separate locations. We have our Latham location that services North Hudson Valley to the Canadian border, and then the Hudson Valley location that's currently in Cornwall on the Hudson. But we are building and hope to have open this fall a new 40,000 square foot distribution center in the town of Montgomery, and we're really excited about that expansion and what's it going to do to allow us to get more people, more healthy food to sustain them, here in the Hudson Valley. It's a very exciting project.
I love that. That's like a wonderful thing to be aligned with. And have you seen the numbers go up or down since the pandemic? Like, are you seeing more of a need or less of a need?
That's a great question. We get that all the time. And the reality is, COVID, it spiked, and it spiked really high, and I'm sure you saw that at your pantry. But the reality is it hasn't come back down, and we're seeing a spike again due to this inflation and the economy right now. People really just can't afford the staple food items that they need out there.
Yeah, and again, you guys are doing incredible work. Have you been able to sample some of the international eats around these parts today?
I just had a lovely duck from Scott Conan's Resort World restaurant, which was delicious.
Okay, that duck pastrami from LaBelle Farms is amazing.
Unbelievable.
Okay, I was going to dedicate a whole segment to it, but here we are. The duck pastrami, LaBelle Farms. Don't walk, run.
Yeah,
with a little cherry jam and a fig compote.
Oh boy,
and that
was
other thing.
something.
It's all the things you can enjoy, Johnny, because you're on your little diet there. But I'm telling you, it was a-okay.
I might cheat today. I mean, there's way too much temptations around. Hey, can I ask you, John? So where do you guys get most of your food? Is it through donations? Is it the state purchasing food for you guys? What's going on with that?
Right. So it's a real mix, right? So the USDA is a great supporter of ours, and that started during COVID. They realized they needed to step up. So we get a ton of free product from the USDA that is shipped to us, and that we can turn that around and get free right back to the people that need it. Also, a big part of where we get our food are distribution centers from Walmart, Market 32, Hannaford, ShopRite, their distribution centers give us a lot of their overstock items, the slightly damaged, slightly dented, that we know are still servable and great products. And then we do Nourish New York, in which one of the big exciting things about being here today, our new warehouse is going to allow us to work more with the Nourish New York program. And that program, New York State gives us the money to work exclusively with New York farmers and New York producers to buy their product at a fair market value and then give it to our customers and our guests for free. So, one of the big things here, having our new warehouse, is going to allow us to really reach out to more farms, more producers here in the Hudson Valley, which will really make an impact in getting fresher product, right? Our goal is more fresh product. On top of that, we do our holiday hunger. We just had our neighborhood food drive, which was 85,000 pounds of food was brought in 1 week from just people in the neighborhoods, filling bags up and bringing them over. So it's a lot of different sources that support us, and then we can turn it around and make sure it gets into the right hands.
That's amazing. And one of the concurring themes of this show has always been to support local farmers, and also that the best thing you can do for yourself is to help somebody else. That's what our community is about. And sounds like you're checking all the boxes. Thank you so much for being here
John,
today.
thank you for
and
being
for doing
here.
such a great job and being part of the Catskill Cuisine.
Hey, we can't thank you both enough.
Yeah,
Truly
thank you.
been a treat.
Thank you so much, John.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Wow, John, I'm having such a good day and so glad we got to talk to John from the food bank. I'm glad it's not just about chefs and party time here. We're really talking about our community and helping people out.
Yeah, and I'm really excited that the Sullivan Catskills chose such a worthy cause for donations to go to and some funds raised to go to today. Food pantries are pivotal in every small community. We have like over 30 patrons in ours, and it's a serious need, especially with the economy the way it is and coming out of the pandemic. This is something a lot of people rely on, and so thanks to John and all of his colleagues, Barry, for doing this work. It's great.
All right. We'll be back right after this very important message.
You're listening to the Everything's Better in Berryville Catskill Cuisine Special Edition, recorded live at the Bethel Woods Center for the Arts. Now back to Mike and Johnny.
Wow. All right. And right now we're backstage at the main pavilion, the main stage here at Bethel Woods, looking out for our friend Ann Burrell. We're going to talk to her in just a minute. But first, we're going to pop our heads into the office of Eric Francis, the CEO of Bethel Woods. And let's not talk about food for a second. Let's talk about rock and roll. Hey, Eric, how's it going? Good to see you. Tell me, what concerts are you really excited about this summer?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think this year, the surprise show for us was Hozier, because it sold a lot of tickets very quickly. So that was one that surprised us. But there's so many good ones, and there's a few more actually that we're working on, which we're excited for. And then, of course, Fish coming back for 3 days is a big deal. And Pretty Lights, an EDM show, which we did many years ago, a festival called Mysteryland, which proved that kids wanted to come up to the country, and so to do that again will be great.
There's no better venue than Bethel Woods, and it's in our backyard, so we're very, very grateful and excited. But I mean, look at the lineup this year. Ladies and gentlemen, we have James Taylor, Hootie and the Blowfish, Warren Haynes, Alanis Morissette, Luke Bryan, Daryl Hall, and Elvis Costello, not Oates, Santana, we have Melissa Etheridge and the Indigo Girls. I mean, the hits never stop hitting out of this place. And how do you guys do it? What do you think makes a well-rounded season, and how do you get all these guys to come up here?
Well, sometimes it's what's happening out in the industry. And so post-COVID, there was a lot of pent-up demand and a lot of artists willing to work since they had to take 2 years off pretty much. So you're just seeing a lot of people willing to work out there, and we try to fill in the season as best as we can. And this year is going to be probably closer to 30 and probably be a record setter for us this year.
Yeah, I mean, this is the bill that just like dreams are made of. Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and Robert Plant all on the same day. My mind is blown. That is going to be a really big day. How do you prepare for something like that?
Well, we've been doing it so long, so it's really sort of, it's 16,000 people we can do in our sleep. I'm not trying to say it's not hard, but summer's basically when we're on autopilot and we're humming. It's the winter where we're working on budgets and things that's sort of the harder work. But when we're in the middle of the season and just to have people here just makes it so much easier and so much fun. So
I'm always surprised that the kids that we talk to in our classes are so tuned into the Woodstock vibe. I would think it might be a concern because you have so many classic rock acts on here and legacy acts is to keep young people coming in. But the weird thing is all the kids that I talk to are really all about Janis Joplin and Santana in so many ways. They really like playing those songs. But what are we going to do? A lot of these acts, this is going to be their last lap. What's next?
It's funny you say that. A couple of years ago, we had Carlos Santana sitting in our office across the hall here, and he said, Woodstock is timeless. And it's really our job between, the venue, the museum, the historic site, getting people here camping this summer for the first time, is for us to keep that flame alive.
I think the camping thing is a fantastic idea, and it's new glamping, right? It's a glamping situation. You want to talk about that for a second?
Sure. We have a level of camping for everybody. So if somebody wants to glamp and have their own tent with shower, running water, toilets, we have that. It's a 5-star, very expensive tent where we should have built a hotel at this point, but now we have tents. There's an RV campground which have water and electric hookups, as well as anybody who wants to bring their RV and just park, and I think they call that boondocking. Is that what that's called? And then we also have car camping spaces for people too, if they just want to pop their own tent up or pull in and with your friends and take over an area, and it's your spot for the show.
I was here last summer for the Catbird Festival. Is Catbird coming back this year?
So not this year. We're going to bring it back next year, stronger. We had a lot of scheduling issues this year. There's a couple of festivals that we were fighting over talent for, and it just wouldn't have made sense to do it this year and not have it be as good as it should be. So we will bring that back next year, and I think we'll probably look to do it in the same weekend in August, right before Woodstock weekend again.
Yeah, and full disclosure, Mike and I have strong ties to this place. It's a cultural touchstone for everybody in the area, so thank you for doing what you guys are doing. And
I just got one more plug to say. I'm most excited, aside from seeing Robert Plant with Bob Dylan and Willie Nelson, which is everything I like all at once, and I pretty much mortgaged the house to buy tickets right up close for this one. I'm very excited about Basic Bitches playing on the Horizon stage before Pat Benatar. There are Barryville peeps, and as you know...
Everything's better in Berryville.
Wait. Can you hear that? Oh, my God. It's the Barryville traffic helicopter. I can't believe it. Hey, Tiffany, is that you? What's going on?
Tiffany Diamond here reporting from the Berryville Radio Traffic Helicopter. Hi, guys. The Catskill Cuisine event looks really great from up in the sky. It's making me kind of hungry. Hey, I heard you guys talking about the rock concerts. I'm really looking forward to seeing Robert Plant, now that he's finally calmed down after that ridiculous Led Zeppelin stuff. Ugh, what a racket. But seriously now, I'm totally psyched to see Basic Bitches playing at Bethel this summer. It's so nice to see someone who's just at the beginning of their careers. You know what I mean? Here's a pro tip for everyone. When you go to Bethel, you want to spring for those VIP parking passes. Of course, I've got the chopper, so I can just put her down out there on Yasker's farm like it's 1969 all over again.
Hey, Tiff, I'm going to go see Robert Plant and Bob Dylan and Willie Nelson. It's going to be awesome. Why don't you come down and land the chopper? We'll sit out on the lawn. We'll have ourselves a time.
Sorry, Mike, I can't hear you. Helicopter's too loud. Over and out from Tiffany Diamond in the Berryville Radio Traffic Helicopter.
that woman follows us wherever we go.
She's amazing.
How does she find us?
I don't know, especially since there's a tent over our head.
I think she's got some sonar attached to you.
Really?
I do. I think
so?
I think there's something going on between the two of you.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, she never seems to want to hang out with me.
Well, she always finds you. That's something.
It's amazing. And you know who else also finds us? Our legislator, Matt McPhillips, who's been on the show at this point more times than I've been. But we've got a lot of politicians out here today.
Yeah, no, it's great. It was great to see Matt. We saw
Kat Scott. We saw the beautiful Paula Kay, who's running for New York State Assembly. She's a shoo-in. She's going to be great. Louis Alvarez, Nadia Rajas. It's been a good one.
And now it's time to introduce a real superstar.
Oh,
Johnny,
my God.
an international star.
I am so excited for this next guest.
All right, Johnny, I can't believe it. Here we are with a genuine superstar, Anne Burrell. She's a chef and Food Network personality. She's a veteran of Iron Chef, my all-time favorite TV show, Iron Chef Japan. Anyway, because it's like food and professional wrestling all at once. So it's like all of my favorite things. But she was also the co-host of the Worst Cooks in America, author of many books, including How to Cook Like a Rock Star, and she's a native upstater from Cazenovia, New York, and she went to school in Buffalo and in Hyde Park at the Culinary Institute. She's a bon vivant and a spreader of sparkles and smiles. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Anne Burrell.
Hello.
Now, before we get to anything, Chef, I've been using your meatball recipe for many years.
Oh, that makes me so happy. They really are excellent meatballs, aren't they?
They're amazing, and I got to ask you because I've been browning them, before I bake them usually, but I can't keep them browned. I have this problem with the integrity of like the spherical shape of the meatballs. The last time I made them, I just baked them, and it kind of they held up a little bit better, the integrity of the meatball, but they didn't have the browning. So help me out here.
So it's very interesting that you say this to me because, you know how we all sort of evolve in life and our cooking techniques and that kind of stuff. And so it's also when you spend the time to brown the meatballs, it's messy, it takes forever. And so I have come up with a new system where I put them all on a sheet tray and I put them in the broiler. So I broil
ladies
them.
And gentlemen, you heard it here first.
I know. I have evolved. So I broil them until they're brown, and then I turn them over and brown them on the other side, and then put them in the sauce. So it saves so much time and so much mess, and you still
this is next level.
Then the meatballs stay round and are still brown, and because the key to my excellent meatballs is the water, and the water is what keeps them moist and delicious.
That's amazing. I was actually going to ask you what's the secret ingredient to your meatballs, but you would say it's the water.
It's the water, and the kicker and the other key thing, and I always like to consider myself a low-tech solution chef. So I always, when I'm putting my meatball mix together, I make a tester patty, which is in the recipe, but a lot of times people skip that step, and it gives you the insurance policy of making sure your meatballs are perfectly seasoned every time.
I agree. I always do the tester. Like when I make my potato latkes too, I actually rehearse the latkes. I actually hold a rehearsal the night before to make sure that I still have my mojo. And then there's a tester before the crowd comes. I also course correct all the time. When you're cooking, do you taste and correct as you go?
You must. I mean, it's so funny when I ask people. I mean, clearly I deal with a lot of the worst cooks in America, and they truly are. And it's like people, the number one question people ask me all the time is, are they really that bad? And it's like, unfortunately, truly they are. We do not or could not fake what those people do to food, because if you know anything about food, like we could not, your mind would never go to where those people go to the bad things that they do to food. So yes, things like a tester patty or tasting your food while you're cooking. And when I ask people like, well, what happens when you follow a recipe? And people are like, a recipe? Like I've just asked them the craziest question in the world. Like when I know I don't know how to do something or how to get somewhere, I find some directions. And that's what a recipe is. And I use it. So, that is what you need to do. And yes, you must taste your food, and food should taste good while you're cooking. If not, there's something wrong.
Have you ever discovered, I'm a big fan of your show, but have you ever discovered any, I don't know, beautiful garbage, we'll say? Like, have you seen somebody doing something that's so counterintuitive, so terrible, but yet there's something to what they've made?
Kind of, yes, I feel like, and of course, right now, like I cannot think of an example of that to say, but every once in a while, I think like, all right, well, you know what, that worked out, but I feel like people backed into it by mistake. But you know what? Doesn't that happen a lot in cooking? You think about perhaps why did a lava cake, get invented in the first place? Someone probably made a mistake and a cake got way too cooked on the outside, but was still flowing on the inside. Things like that. You learn from your mistakes, or sometimes you really embrace them.
That's great. So I know that you were a big get for the organizers of this event today. It's so exciting to have you here. Is this your first time in the Catskills?
Well, is this my first time in the Catskills? Absolutely not. I went to culinary school here. I went to the Culinary Institute of America, which I will say, still after all of these years, was probably one of the happiest times in my life. It was the time where I look back and I think it was the first time that I was at the right place at the right time in my life. And actually, sorry, it still makes me weepy about how much I loved my education there.
That's beautiful. And did just being in this environment and being around all these farms in the regional area, we have so many like specialty farmers up here, everything from foie gras to the sky's the limit with what comes out of this region. Did it inform your cooking?
Well, I grew up, not in the Catskills, but not hugely far from here. And upstate New York it's almost an embarrassment of riches. It is truly a beautiful place. Yes, winters are long, but the people are salt of the earth, kind, wonderful, lovely people. The farmlands that we have, the produce that we have, even the wine that we have. It is truly a beautiful place with so much to know about and to explore. And in the summertime, it's like I can't wait to cook when I go home to visit my family. And still in the little town that I'm from, we drive out in the summertime on the farm roads, and the farmers put out their corn. And when I was a kid, it was a coffee can, and it's all on the honor system. You put your money in the coffee can. Now it's a lockbox, sadly. But they would put out their corn and tomatoes, and and then it would be always, my mom would be like, all right, and, go out on the patio and shuck the corn, and I would have a brown paper grocery bag. And now I do that to my nieces and nephews, kind of stuff. But I live in New York City now, and I get it, Jersey corn and Jersey tomatoes, but I come upstate in the summer, and there is nothing like upstate New York corn and tomatoes. Like the corn that comes from upstate New York blows Jersey corn.
Oh, don't be throwing shade on Jersey tomatoes, man.
Yes.
I'm from the dirty Jersey, and tomatoes and corn are like two of the three things we do really well. The others are like great. Substance abuse, of course.
They are great. Jersey beefsteak tomatoes. Absolutely amazing. But when you get to the tomatoes and corn that come from upstate New York, the little teeny kernels that they have, and it's like you just kind of touch your teeth to them and they explode. And it is there's nothing like it. Sorry, Jersey. I like your stuff, but I love upstate tomatoes.
I'll tell you what.
And corn.
In about 8 weeks, maybe a little longer, I'm going to have so many tomatoes in my backyard. The tomatoes here do pop like crazy, and cucumbers, and it's going to be gazpacho all the way from the end of July all the way to September at my house.
Absolutely, and it was like growing up. We had we had a big garden, and so my mom would be like, "All right, go out and pick lettuce for the salad for dinner, or dig up potatoes, or that kind of stuff." And I think that's. It was that kind of experience and my mom's cooking and watching Julia Child from a very young age and being in 4-H, like in the fall going apple picking and then making apple pies and that kind of stuff that really set me on my path to becoming a chef.
I'll tell you about the long winters up here. It just means more meatballs. It's just more meatball opportunities.
Right.
So, Anne, let me ask you just did a demo on stage, just came off stage. What were you showing off today?
So for my demo today, I made a pork Milanese with an escarole salad with hazelnuts and pecorino and pickled onions.
Sounds all right to me, Johnny, right?
I'm sorry we missed the samples on that one, but we'll have to circle back and see if anything's
So,
left.
I mean, can I get back to it? Even upstate New York, like onions, Canastota, like has beautiful onions. And so I'm like, all right, I'll take those onions and pickle them.
Wow.
Like upstate New York has so much to offer people that I think people, and how can we even talk about salt potatoes outside of Syracuse salt potatoes? It's like you buy a bag of little baby thin-skinned new potatoes and it comes with a pound of salt in the bag of the potatoes, and you boil them in salt water till the potatoes are like almost shrivelly and coated with salt on the outside, and then slather them with butter.
You are speaking my language.
Syracuse salt potatoes, there's nothing like them.
Well, Anne, thank you so much for giving us just these wonderful tips that are blowing my mind and changing the way I cook. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful time here at Catskill Cuisine.
Always. And I will just say this, as I said in my demo, throughout the course of, my travels in my life and, being out and around in New York, whenever, I invariably, when I end up stopping to talk to someone or whatever, and we're talking and I'm like, in New York, you get around to the, where are you from? What do you do? Kind of thing. And I run into people from upstate New York and I'm like, that's it. Upstate New York people always find each other. There's something special about us.
It's funny because I keep running into people from Brooklyn here. And thank you so very much. All right, you ready to broil some meatballs, Johnny?
I'm all about it.
Right? I hope I've changed your meatball cookery.
Oh my God, next level. I'll be getting back to you and letting you know. Thank you. What's so funny about that?
I just think it's amazing that we have the attention and the intellectual prowess of this incredible chef, and we all pull out our phones and start looking at cat pictures.
That was a highlight of my day. Never mind, that was a highlight of my career, looking at cat pics with Anne Burrell. She has two amazing Maine Coon cats. She's
I love
crazy
those
cat
kitties.
lady, Johnny. She's one of us.
Don't tell Francois I love Maine Coons. They're so cute.
Oh, man. All right. Well, we're almost at the end of the show, but I've been waiting for this moment all day. Been wanting to talk to our beautiful neighbor here on the main drag here, just north of the market shed in front of the Horizon stage at Bethel Woods at the Catskills Cuisine. I want to introduce our new friend, Sandra Martinetto de Barcelona. She says her place is like coming to the Barcelona airport. Have a drink, have a tapa. Bienvenido. Hello, Sandra. ¿Cómo estamos?
Muy bien. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás?
De putísima madre.
Oh, my God.
Como un madrileño.
Oh, como los madrileños. Yo soy de Barcelona.
I think we should do this in Spanish because it's a lot sexier, don't you think?
Oh, si tú quieres, claro que sí.
Perfecto. John's getting kind of hot over there. I can see him. He's kind of sweating under the headphones.
I'm into it.
Bueno, explícanos. Tienes una finca en Forestburg y tu compañía es organicworldus.com, organicworldus.com, y tienes una finca en granja.
Ya lo ha dicho bien, muy bien.
We tried some of your paella before. It was absolutely fantastic, but nothing was like your salsa de ajo. It was fantastic. The garlic sauce was amazing.
So mi salsa de ajo, my garlic sauce is al y oli. Al means garlic, y means and, oli means oil. So it's garlic and oil.
That's nice. You know, no one ever explains that. Alioli has sort of been omnipresent for so many years now. But now you know, for those of you who don't speak the lingo, alioli, and that's it. And it's good stuff.
And what was that delicious thing I tried earlier with the apples? What was that?
Oh, that was my broccoli salad.
It was so delicious.
Thank you. Yeah, that's actually, and that recipe is inspired on a Catalan way of doing spinach, where they actually saute the spinach with raisins. And my husband is German, and there is this really good German salad that has yogurt. So I kind of like mixed the two together, and it's like I call it my probiotic coconut yogurt broccoli salad.
I love it. I love it. So how did you come from Barcelona and then make it to Forsberg? I want to know the story.
From where, John? Barcelona.
Amazing.
I think we need some sangria to listen to the story for that.
I like that. That's a good story.
But this was back 1999. I think I was, without knowing, a New Yorker in my heart and spirit. Very energetic, as you saw today, and very willing to learn and know, and you know, the energy of New York City when I came in 1999 just for vacationing just dragged me in, and I just stayed and never left. Just to make it short and simple. When I came to the U.S., though, I actually got a New York State certification for science and biology. I was teaching in New York City public schools for over 12 years, almost like 14. It was pretty amazing. And I resigned. I couldn't take the system. I was not able to provide children the science hands-on that they needed. I did a lot of like farm to table, cooking classes, gardens, everything, you know, voluntarily working with the American Museum of Natural History, Grow NYC, so many other organizations that were wonderful. But at some point, you know, there was no budget. Say bye-bye, arrivederci. When my mom passed away, in 2014, that was the opportunity for me to leave, buy a little piece of land in magical, wonderful Forsberg.
I love it.
Fell in love with it. And then I just ended up living full-time here in my farm and teaching at SUNY Sullivan. Yes.
Y qué suerte que nos encontramos aquí in Catskill Cuisine. This is fantastic. We're going to go to Forsberg, John. Sandra has a lot of events coming up.
We should visit the farm.
And also,
Absolutely.
Sandra, I want to tell all our English-speaking friends that you're going to be at the Rock Hill Market and in Monticello, and to find you at your website, organicworldus.com, and check it out. And you do all sorts of special events. You're teaching people how to make paella, and I see you have a big day here, and we're definitely going.
Will you come to Berryville and make paella sometime at my joint?
Yes, absolutamente, claro que sí. Vámonos, ¿dónde?
Sounds like 100%.
Bueno, gracias por todo. Eres la vecina con the most. And ha sido un placer.
Para mí también.
Wow, qué caliente.
Oh my, what a wonderful show today. Thank you to Ann Burrell, Melba Wilson, Maricel Salazar, Sandra, John, Amanda, Chef Edison, Eric Francis, Roberta Lockwood, and Herb Clark, and the Sullivan County Catskills Visitors Association. Thank you so much for having us today. This has been a wonderful, wonderful culinary day of supreme, wonderful things coming out of this place.
You know what, though, John? I'm ready to take it back to Berryville. Coming up this week is the opening day of the Berryville Farmers Market. I live all through these cold winter months just waiting for this day. And it's also opening day at the Farmers Market, but it's also Shadfest.
Oh my God, Shadfest is going to be off the charts. We have Miho Hattori coming from Chibamato. She's also Noodle in the Gorillas. I'm so excited to bring her to town. I'm so excited to try shad for the season and celebrate their spawning up the Delaware River. So it's going to be power packed where we come from too.
All right, it's been a great day. Thanks to everybody here at Bethel Woods and Heritage Radio, of course, but most of all, thanks to everyone who's listening for making this the biggest small town podcast in the world. You ready, John? Let's go back to Berryville.
That's right.
Everything's better in Berryville.
Everybody's talking at me. I don't hear what they're saying. Only the echoes of my mind. People all stop and staring, and I can't see their faces. Only the shadows of their eyes. I'm going where the sun keeps shining through the pouring rain. Going where the weather suits my clothes. Banking on the northeast winds, sailing on a summer breeze, and skipping on the river like a stone. Everybody's talking at me. How many words they're saying? Only the echoes of my mind. People are stopping, staring, and I can't see their faces. Only the shadows of their eyes. I'm going where the sun keeps shining through the pouring rain. I'm going where the weather suits my clothes. Banking on the northeast winds, sailing on a summer breeze, and skipping on the river like a stone.
This show is powered by Simplecast. Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network, food radio supported by you. Keep in touch at heritageradionetwork.org/subscribe.
Hey everybody, I'm Nick Latham.
And I'm Leah Bottima.
And we're the hosts of Were You Raised by Wolves?
Each week we try to make the world a kinder, nicer place.
Well, that's the idea, at least.
I mean, we try.
Have you ever wondered what to do if you're ghosted?
Or what to do when a friend asks you to borrow money?
Or the proper way to eat Cheetos?
You know, the big questions.
So please find Were You Raised by Wolves wherever you listen.